Now, I'm going to show you the greatest discovery in history.
Wow!
Proclaim you love me. Swear you're never gonna leave. Then enlighten me about all the things that are wrong with me. Yeah. You don't really want me. You want who you think I'm gonna be. Yeah. But this is who I am. I'm not perfect. That's a symptom of me. Love is patient, love is kind. It ain't jealous, it don't mind about the past. Say love covers a multitude of sins, yeah. There's some things, there's some things, yeah. You don't really want me. You want who you think I'm gonna be, yeah. But this is who I am. I'm not perfect. That's a symptom of me. You don't really want me. No, no, no. You want who you think I'm gonna be, yeah. But this is who I am. I'm not perfect. No, I'm not perfect. Oh, I'm not perfect. Oh, no, no. Just a symptom of me. Symptom of me. Symptom of me. Yeah. Symptom of me. This is who I am. Symptom of me. Gotta love me now. Gotta love me now. Who I am. This is who I am. Yeah. Oh, gotta love me, baby, now. Oh, ooh,
Love the band.
Yeah, that's
a local one for you, right?
Yeah, this is Ferendicus from
There we
Whangarei,
go.
New Zealand. And I was this has been sitting in under amongst all the CDs for a while, and I've been cleaning up last week, and I was like, wait,
You
I've,
rediscovered them, huh?
yeah, and I was like, because I never heard it, but I've
Yeah,
heard them, on here and stuff, and my friends
yeah,
playing it, but never really kind of like listened to them from a CD because they
right.
released this during COVID, and it kind of ruined it because like nobody was doing anything at that
Yeah,
time, and so I mean, it's a perfect freaking amazing sound. There's like two of the guys, the drummer and the bass player plays in two other bands, and one of them is a punk band,
okay,
right? So
okay.
to have something smooth like that coming
Yeah,
from a
I
punk,
mean that's smooth and mellow. I mean, you could chill out and have conversation with friends, and
yeah, I'm
it's
like,
cool. It's cool.
it's what we call the summer song, right? Like you chill out with your friends
Yeah,
over a barbecue or whatever, and
yeah,
just relax rather than having to rage out. And
right,
plus, it's really groovy as well. The bass is just amazing on that. Matt's a good
right.
bass player.
Yeah,
So before we go forward, welcome everybody to Plunge Comics and to the Plunge Comics podcast, where we just talk about comics, pop culture, conventions, interview creators, artists, and people who are involved in the pop culture scene as creatives. Whether you do films, you do write books or whatever, or documentaries about you know stuff like that. We'd like to hear from you, and also thank you for joining in. And so, if you haven't checked out any of our other live streams or any other podcasts, videos, uploads, and all that, please check them out. And if you're new here, subscribe. I always forget to say that, and leave a comment if if you like what we talk about, or if you want to see more of something, or if you have some suggestions about somebody to bring on, or if why not suggest your friends to come on and talk about their stuff. We're very open here about as long as you got a book coming out or you have a book going out, if you're a comic artist or creator, if you've got something already out or you're going to bring out something, then we want to hear from you. We want to talk to people who are actually doing it, not someone who's thinking about doing it, or because we want to show off your work and we want to promote you, like what we're going to do here with Greg today. So, segueing into Greg, Greg's an amazing person. I've known him for a couple of years now, and he's been so much supportive of what I'm doing here and what is happening over there in the US in the comic scene. And it's just, I was just so excited to hear that he's putting on a convention in a place that one of my publishers lives, right? And
yeah.
so I'm just really excited about that because it means that we can be involved there and all across the world, on the other side of the world, we can be involved in what Greg's doing. So,
Oh,
Greg, before we go forward, the usual, give us a short bio about yourself, and I'll take myself out.
okay. Well, I'm Greg Harms. I'm a publisher at Third Empire. I'm also an artist, writer. Uh, Roman and I started Third Empire in 2018, and then became publisher in 2020. Flash forward to 6 months ago. I guess backtrack a little bit. Christy and I have gone around and done conventions since 2010 as setting up. So we've been on the other side of the table. And flash forward to about 5 months ago, we had a meeting with the city of Borger. And when we left, we were gonna consult with them about doing a convention here in Borger, Texas. And by the end of the meeting, we were actually going to be the ones running the show and bringing it to Borger, Texas. So that's Boomtown Comic Con was born. A little bit of history on me. I've actually my business plan that I'm using that I modified for Boomtown actually was one that started YC3 11 years ago, 12 years ago. And I was involved with it for 2 years, and then I stepped away to do the publishing. And it's grown to where it went from 500 on that first convention to 1,500 on the second convention, up to thousands now. Boomtown is going to be on a smaller scale just because we have a smaller venue and we're in a smaller town, but we have a lot of guests. Christy is we couldn't do it without her. She's probably about 80% of the workload is on Christy. We have sponsors that I'll mention here in a little bit. But that's a little bit about me, about how we got started anyway. So
I always I had to smile when or think about how you're talking to somebody about that your town needs this, right?
yeah,
And that it'll be great for the community. And usually the way you're thinking is, and the way I'm thinking is, and the way the community thinks is, the youth, right? The youth will
right,
need this. It'll be good for the youth if we can get something positive for the youth to happen. It'll be great for them to, for their future. And like that's something, as we've been talking about this on this channel for a while, and on
yeah,
the other one about how a lot of times communities really don't have people who lead. They don't know everything, and people expect everybody that's involved, like in New Zealand we call them MPs, parliamentarians, members of council, stuff like that, right? Though your
right,
mayor, they don't know nothing really what kids are into. They don't
right.
know what the community needs until somebody tells them, because they're too busy with their heads in the paper, right? They think about, okay, forms signed, okay, got a funding here, funding there.
Yeah.
They
Well,
really
one of
don't
the things
know.
that made this come
Yeah,
about is suggestions to uh,
yeah,
the Borgers, city of Borger, Nicole.
yeah,
They were taking down suggestions, in comic convention came up several
yeah,
times, and we were talking to them at a farmer's market that we were
yeah,
set up at, and Christy and I go, yeah, we've done that. We've
mm,
been in that that's our world, that's our people,
yeah,
and she said, let's have a meeting. And I, we couldn't be doing it without the city of Borger, the facilities, the dome.
yeah,
The Chamber of Commerce has given us a grant to help bring in some of the guests.
mm,
So I mean, those are two huge things that they are putting some skin in the game to help
yeah,
us. And of course, Christy and I are putting a lot of skin in the game. But to bring this in your, you were talking about the youth. We're going to have gaming going on. We're going to have kids coloring pages. Kids can make masks that, if they don't have a costume, they can color a mask, uh,
right,
and then they can put that on. We have a chef that's going to be doing our concessions.
yeah,
We have celebrity guests, which we can talk about those here in a little bit. But then just the amount of support that we've gotten from our peers, as far as artists, writers, novelists, the vendors, the comic shops, the trading cards, the gaming. It's just this has already grown bigger than Christy and I ever thought going
right.
into it was going to be, and that's just the vendors and stuff so far.
Well, I
So
think a lot of people, especially when it comes to vendors and stuff, right? They, with the way the economy is going, everybody's trying to find out what what's available for them to be in front of people, because people are finding, people are too confined to their homes now because of the last
yeah,
4 years of,
yeah,
previous 4 years of being home, and because of COVID and stuff and lockdowns and stuff, people have
right,
gotten used to being in the habit of not going out, and so vendors and businesses, right, are finding it hard to get people through the door, and the thing is, like, for a venue like an event like conventions, or whatever you have, like events like that where lots of people can come in, and mingle and stuff, it's good for businesses, because it means that the businesses can have customers actually there that that they might not ever get in their store, right?
right,
And that people weren't aware of. Like, a lot of times I find that people don't even know what's out there until like events like this, because,
right.
oh, you also did that? I didn't know you did that, right? Oh,
Yeah.
where are you
Well,
guys?
it's a
So you
great
get a lot of that.
networking thing, and
Yeah,
you're talking about getting people out of the house. One of
yeah,
the things we wanted to do is give a low door admission. So, it's ten
yeah,
dollars for adults. Uh,
yeah,
12 to 7 to 12 is $5, and then under
yeah,
seven's free. And like the first 50 in the door are going to get a prize, or get a special item. If you wear a Boomtown t-shirt, you're going to get another prize. And we've had artists that have done exclusive
mm,
prints, and we have these Boomtown bracelets. They're the silicone bracelets. We have holographic stickers.
You're gonna have to send me
graphic
some.
We have magnets. So I mean, there's going to be
Those
some
is
freebies to give
it's
out.
so cool, man.
You
Yeah,
know, and stuff. And I have some magazines that were donated. Said here,
yeah,
give these out to the kids. So I have these,
that's
you know,
awesome.
this thick catalog magazines that have the manga stuff in to give out
Yeah,
to kids and stuff. So there's going to be some, you know, fun stuff just getting in the door, you know, even. And that's not even talking about the amount of gaming we have,
yeah,
the concessions with our chef, and then I think it's close to 60 vendors that we're going to have there.
that's pretty good.
You know, so
How,
and
how
that's capacity for what we can put in the dome.
yeah, that's
I've
what I was going to ask next.
That's
How
our
big is the
second exhibit area for that.
yeah? So how big is the actual venue? Because I mean, for people who don't know where Borger, it's Borger or Borger?
It's Borger, Texas. Yeah,
It,
the
the
whole
way you,
facility is
the way you say it, it sounds like D to me. It sounds like border, but it's
Borger. Yeah,
Borger. Right?
Borg. I don't enunciate very well. Borger,
Yeah, yeah,
Borger. Well, we've been called Borger,
yeah,
Booger, Burger, and if you hit Borger and not Border,
yeah.
then you got it right.
So
And
it's
I don't know if you saw
whereabouts?
the Kid Walk video, but he's one of our guests, Mark
Yeah,
Kidwalk, Britain. He did a play on that where one of his voice, because he's a voice actor, one of his voices from
right.
Dragon Ball Z called it the wrong name. He said no,
Yeah.
Borger. So
All right.
uh,
Well, since let me play that. Hold on. Where are we? Let me bring that video on. So this is it here, right?
You tell me we're
yes,
going to Berger, Texas.
Not Burner, Texas. Borger, Texas.
That's what I've been trying to tell him is we're going to Boomtown Comic Con at the Dome in Borger, Texas. When is this?
Saturday, March 22nd, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Are you in?
I'm in. I could use some comics and video games. And I can get some pop culture memorabilia. And we'll rule that con. We'll be the Borger Kings.
That joke was under 9,000.
That is really cool.
I love it. I love it.
That is awesome. Now, I was going to ask about the venue, right? Because, like, as you know, I am not from America. I have no idea
Right.
where this place is, and so all I know is that, like, you know, it's in Texas. Now, for those who are outside, because all I've been like, for the people that I know in America, I've been saying, if you know anybody in Texas, around Texas, or passing through Texas, or going to stay in Texas, to go check it out. So, do you want to highlight some of the I guess the greatness about that people find if they decide to stay there for the weekend or the week, just
Okay.
for, as they're passing through.
Borger is 50 miles north of Amarillo. You on the way from Amarillo, which it has an international airport, you will pass one of the only state. It's Alabates. It's one of the only state parks in Texas, so you can see that. And when you get to Borger, the dome itself is a historic landmark. It's an aluminum dome. It was made, I can't remember the date on when it was made, but there's only 2 of them that have been made. It was restored a couple of years ago, and the whole venue was expanded. The inside of the dome was remodeled, but it's this aluminum dome that kind of looks like a Death Star. And I'm gonna have a meme commercial type stuff that plays on that because we do have Star Wars guests that are coming in. But the dome part of it itself is a 15,442 square foot venue. It's going to be housing about 60 guests. And then you look at which on the picture that you're looking at, I actually have Darth Vader, a TIE fighter, and Pippi Longstocking in that. I have some Dragon Ball Z to add in, and Jawa to add in, and Wrestler to add in. But the part to the side there is actually the other part, which has the Grand Ballroom, Ballroom A, Ballroom B, which we rented the whole venue. So
Right.
the event is going to be in that whole facility. They've
Tell me we're going
they've
to
redone the parking. They've added that other part on. They redid the dome, and this is 2 or 3 years ago. But it's just a beautiful facility to have this in, and we're so lucky to have that here. And then, like the grand ballroom is 10,563 square feet, and the ballroom A and B, which we can open up that whole area. But I'm going to have it divided in half. The other half is the same size. It's 10,563 square feet. So you're looking at 20,000, 35,000, 36,000 square feet venue.
Right.
That will have the gaming going on, the comic shops, the pop culture. There's even going to be I just think this is kind of cool. There's going to be a guest in there that has done jewelry for different TV shows,
right,
movies, and stuff. And then I have to I want to go ahead and
sure,
go ahead and talk about this right now. We're gonna donate 10% of the general admission to our Borger Area Learning Center.
That's awesome. Yeah,
to help with them, and that they're an organization that helps people that are in need because they need help. They're mentally they're not to where they need to learn letters and learn how to count money.
Sure.
And to function, and they've aged out of the school system.
Right.
So those that are a little bit older than school age.
Sure. So you're looking about like school leavers in their 20s, not 30s,
20s,
but like
even higher for some of their clients that they will help. So and they need help. They needed some money, so they need a new roof, and so we're donating 10% of our door general admission. And this is great. We have several Star Wars groups that are going to come in and help. And the only one I have listed right now is the West Texas Alliance.
Yeah.
But we asked, if you look at Leliani's video, she was able to get like 3 or 4 other Star Wars groups that are going to be coming in. So in what they raise will also be donated to the Borger Area Learning Center, which is just, great that we can give back, give back to the community, so they're going to have a booth there. And if anybody wants to just donate directly to them, they can come in, talk to them at the booth and donate to them. I'm not going to touch any of that money. It goes directly to them. Type of thing.
So with the event itself, you're covering pop culture, you're covering comic books, you're covering anime, gaming, and stuff like that. Now, when you're promoting it, how are you promoting? Are you promoting it exclusively as a Comic Con or as a pop culture event?
I kind of do both. It depends on who I'm talking to. I mean, because if you're talking to people that like the anime, I kind of say, we're going to have these things going on.
Right.
And then if you're a signature hunter, this is a great event because you're going to be able to get David Ankrum, who was Wedge Antilles in the original Star Wars. You're going to get C. Andrew Nelson, who played Darth Vader 70 times over the last 7 years, something like that. He's played Darth Vader a lot. You're going to get Liliani Chu, who is the first named Jawa on screen as Tika, and she's in Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, and then she's played a lot of other stuff as well. So you have just Star Wars guests, you have those 3, and then you're going to have Pippi Longstockings, Tammy Aaron, and then you're going to have Kid Walk, who is 7 voices on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
You're going to have Sean Hernandez, who is a wrestler.
Mm.
And then you're going to have Brent Peoples, who's a Marvel DC artist.
Right.
So, you know, not only the manga stuff, but you have the American Marvel DC, and then we have several self-publishers.
Right.
And you know one of them because you work
Sure.
with them.
Right.
And then, you know, it's the Rising Sun
So-
with Hawk Sanders. And then you have Stewart with 1.21 gigawatts, comic
Right.
Collectibles and nostalgia.
Right.
Something like that.
So
I have
so who, yeah, so who are the others, like small publishers and comic people that are coming down? And are you still open to more people coming down? You know, who are, you know, you still got like what, another month and a half?
Yeah, we're sold out of booths.
You're sold out. Oh wow,
Sold out booths.
that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Unless they wanted to sit with one of the other people. I mean, we could
Yeah.
promote you, but you'd have to share a booth with somebody else.
Right.
We have some guys coming up from Lubbock that are D&D.
Right.
They're the Derricks,
Yep.
and they publish not only comics but children's books. My wife has children's books.
Right.
Thomas Clemens, who's an artist that has worked with Christie, he is a self-publisher himself,
Right.
and is going to be selling his comic strips that are formatted in the big form to compiled together.
Right.
We're going to have that. You have Robert Bevan and Dr. Kyle Robertson. They're going to have a children book that they're selling.
Yeah.
And he also does comic art, and he's actually one of the guys that is doing our convention special posters. He
Right.
did a couple of them. And then we have Jake Goodman, who has done a couple, and he does self-publishing, and then he works for a small press.
Right.
Let's see. We have a couple tattoo artists, Michael, and then the guy that helped us bring in Sean Hernandez. Glenn Wallace. He's with the Stars and Stripes tattoo shop in Fritch, which is a local shop.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple of first timers. Some of these people have never done a convention before, so we're getting to get them their first comic experience. I have a couple. I have a friend coming from California, Matt Mosman.
Okay.
He's a self-publisher. He has his own publishing company. He hires out as an artist, but he's flying in from California to support. And I'm so thankful for him. And I may have another guy that's coming from Florida, but his health, right. He's waiting for a kidney, so we've got to work. If the kidney comes available, that he's going to, stay home and get the kidney and not come to the
sure.
So. But
now,
I don't have him on the guest list yet. So.
Sure. So talking about helpers, right? So how is the event being run?
Say that again.
How is the event being run? Like, you got who's helping out running it? Because there's only you and Christy, right?
Yeah, it's me and Christy, and then we have some volunteers that are going to be helping a little bit. Of course, we have family. My son and daughter and their spouses have. Although my daughter, we're expecting our third grandbaby, like 3 weeks before the convention. So
sure.
She may not be able to help as much as she thinks she can. Although she's tough, and this will be our third grandbaby, so we're excited about that.
So where's all the volunteers coming from to help out? Because I know an event like this, like you got 60 people just on vendors side of things, and of course all the speakers and all the anime voice actors and stuff like that, right. And people who are just turning up, like your Star Wars actors and stuff and groups. Who's going to help with doing the volunteer work? Is there any specific group that's come out and said, or have you already found the volunteers, or are there schools involved? Who's involved in helping out?
Well, so far it's just been people that have just come forward and said, "Hey, I want to help," because we put out a call for it. We hadn't talked to. We were like the youth leadership group. They're supposed to talk about it, I guess, at the next meeting. somewhere in
Sure.
there. So we might have some volunteers come in for that. And we're going to talk to the college, because we have a Frank Phillips College here in town.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk to them.
Mm.
It's where we could get maybe just a few more volunteers. Because
Yeah.
we want to be able to make sure that we have enough that they can walk around, make sure all of our vendors are doing well.
Right.
Make sure our celebrity guests, our featured guests are, if they need to go to the restroom or get a drink, or if they're hungry, we can
Sure.
get that for them. Or even like our vendors, if they're there by themselves, we want to be able to fill in for that.
Yeah.
And then the chef, he is bringing his family, and so they're going to be fully sufficient. They're going to take care of cooking what needs to be cooked, and then selling whatever, the soda pops, the candy bars, the cool stuff that he dreams up. The fried stuff, maybe there's going to be a little, and the good stuff that you can get at the con. And then the games are being run by different comic shops. So you have D&D with Gigawatts, 1.21 gigawatts. You have Pokemon by Mushy Head Comics. You have Yu-Gi-Oh by Game Quest. You have Magic and Warhammer, run by Day 2 Cards and Games. So we have, and they're going to kind of bring their own staffing to run that part of the event. And something we're doing for those guys that are coming in for the event, they'll pay for a $10 admission, but they'll get a $5 voucher that goes towards those gaming.
Sure.
To where it gives them a little bit of help, because most of those guys, when they come in to game, they sit there and game all day.
Yeah.
So I want to help them be able to do that. Yeah. So we worked that with those game hosts, to where this is kind of a cool way to do that, and try to get more of those guys that are going to play those games in there. So they're kind of hosting and running their own thing. We help out with the voucher when they pay a $10 admission. And then that way they can, if they want to run around, like some of the gaming doesn't start till noon, so they can go ahead and go over into the other part. There's going to be some vendors that have cards that they might want to buy. There's going to be some related pop culture items. There's going to be 3D printing. They could get a commission. They could buy books. They could buy novels. I mean, we have Blue Handle Publishing that's bringing in. They're representing at least 4 different authors. One of them, I think, or maybe 2, are going to be there doing signings. And then I have a high school friend that's coming in. I think he's written over a dozen different novels. He's going to be set up there. So it kind of has everything from children's books up to the novel readers, anime to the American comics. So even though it's a smaller event, just because the venue is maxed out, it still has a little bit for everybody.
I mean, it sounds like you've covered. You're right. You've covered everything, which is what's really exciting about it. Even though, the thing is, a lot of people try to go big on their first event, and hardly anybody turns up. And
this
so
is bigger than we thought it was going to be, anyway.
Yeah, and so you got to let's say a moderate event size, and you've actually sold out all your vendors, so you don't have to worry about people coming in and not finding anything. And here you've got everything covered. So, I mean, the last aspect of it is actually the volunteers, and you've got about 6 weeks to cover the volunteers. So I was thinking, for what we did was I actually approached a high school art departments, because that's where you want people who are actually interested in art to be coming there, because they're the ones who are going to be interested in drawing anime or manga or comic books and stuff, and they'll also be interested in writing. So if you get those sort of students to be volunteers, high schoolers, or even junior high school, or middle school, that you'd find those guys would be more would have more fun than just an average jock coming in.
Well, and they may be able to talk to somebody that could be a mentor.
Exactly.
I mean, that's great. I mean, because any of us that come in there, we can learn from each other. You say, "Oh, that's your technique," or pick up something here, and it's just grabbing one more thing that you can put in your toolbox and pull out when you need it. And then just the amount of networking that could be done. I mean, it's amazing even to where they can learn from each other, and then of course what you said is just have fun. Be with your friends and have fun and forget about stuff for a day and just come in there and nerd out and geek out, or however you want to say it.
And it's
Pop
a family,
culture out.
and
Boom
not only
out.
that, and not only that, you've got like you're catering to the whole family. You're not catering to just like the the nerds or the geeks or whatever, but you're catering to the whole family. You've got your mum and dad can come in, kids could run around, look around for a couple of hours. That's babysitting job, easy done, right? Like how much do you guys pay for babysitters in America, right? For us, it's 20 bucks an hour here, give or take, for a 16-year-old.
That's more than door price.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. So for 4 hours or whatever, how many hours is it, the event actually?
We're going to open at 10 a.m. and we'll go to 6.
Yeah, so it's a single day event, which is like, you can have a great time without like worrying about having to stay like a couple of days for the event, even if you're just passing through. So it's really, I mean, I like the whole single day events, because I think that means that you don't have to have a lot more cost to pay when you're coming to stay somewhere, because you can just go and come home. And I think it's a really, advantageous to families who might be outside of Texas. What's the area surrounding Texas, by the way?
Well, I mean, within 400 miles, you could have Oklahoma, Kansas, New Mexico, Colorado, maybe. I mean, so I mean, and that's kind of who we're marketing to, because we're right up in the panhandle of Texas,
right?
50 miles north of the I-40,
right?
Which that's a major east-west highway, but we have a little airport there, but the international ones, because we're going to have guests flying in, so we have that international airport.
Sure.
45, 50-minute drive. We pick them up, bring them back, and one of the things is it's a smaller town.
Yeah. So
you're not going to have the traffic. There may be traffic that day, because I'm expecting that we'll get 1,500 to 2,500 people in the event.
Sure.
For the first year, and if this goes really well, then it'll probably become a 2-day event. So then you're looking at, but we'll have if people come out and they fill it in. But see, you're looking at New Mexico, Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And we have guests coming from Albuquerque, Lubbock, some from Oklahoma. Like I said, we have one coming in from California.
Yeah.
So and honestly, there's a ton of talent in this area. Because we have at least 2 conventions in Amarillo.
Right.
3 conventions in Amarillo. There's two or three in Lubbock. So this area is kind of being built up with the community, to where people enjoy doing these type of things. So
I mean, like anything that's that's gonna bring people together in a day event, and of course you want to hopeful that will blow out in the next couple of years, and nothing, you got to start somewhere. One of the things I was thinking, like how much of the funding has been provided towards this from from your actual council or community,
from the Chamber of Commerce? Percentage wise is probably a 1/6, maybe. Fifth,
and what
somewhere in there.
Right, and then you've also got like your private sector providing as well, or businesses providing as well.
We are looking for sponsors, and there has been some help here, but then the rest of it's been just Christy and I making an investment into that, and we think it's worth it. We
I mean
that for the community. So.
Yeah, I mean, but the other thing is, you don't want to put on an event and nobody supports you in that, and so that's why I was wondering, having support from because this is going to help the actual community and actual businesses, right? It's actually going to help
in our nonprofit, and I mean, Yeah, it gives back to the community, and it does help.
Yeah.
And we're actually talking to some of the local businesses about like a sponsorship, but we're also like, hey, maybe on that day you can name a drink.
Yeah, something to
The Hulk smash drink, or the
yeah,
something pizza, or so to where we can try to kind of get the community involved in it, to where if you go
right.
somewhere that you're going to see it, you go, oh yeah,
Yeah.
type of stuff.
And I think that's the more community gets involved with events like this, the better it is for the community, because financially, when people come into the community, they bring in money every
Yeah.
time they come to events like this. So it's not, it's got to like it's always, what is it called, like downhill effect, right? So you have an event on, people hear about it and they have a good time, they tell everybody else about it, and they pass along the message that, hey, this has happened and we
Right.
did enjoy ourselves, and then people come to they come and enjoy the town as well.
Right.
How big is Borger? I think I heard it at the start, but like as like, what sort of size is it? Like, how many events, what sort of people think go on there for people that they might not want to come to this, but something else in the evening? Is there anything happening in the evening after the event if people want to hang around?
I'm trying it. Probably not. I mean, there's a movie theater.
Yeah.
They could go catch a movie. There's places where adult beverages are served. Really nice restaurants that can be going on. Like I said, this is kind of a smaller town. So,
Sure.
I mean, you could go out in the country and do star watching. You could go to, we have a Lake Meredith that, if, say you came in, you like to fish, but you want to get your kids to the convention. There's a lake where you could go catch a world record, walleye or a crappie. Or,
well, I'm kind of thinking more in the sense of like, what happens with events like this, because when I go to events out of my town or even in my town, afterwards, I like to go out and just chill out, right?
Yeah.
And so is there enough, like, do you think there's enough restaurants or cafes there for people to be able to hang around and enjoy their time afterwards? Because I know like cosplayers will just go out and hire a whole friggin' restaurant for the night, and they'll just hang out with all their cosplay mates and anime fans, right? They do that all the time. I've been to Auckland where I don't even, because here locally there is like a Wednesday event, or every second Wednesday or whatever, where the cosplayers from the steampunks will just go hang out and do their thing. However, when I go out of town, like say Auckland, like, which is about 2.5 hours drive away, all our cosplay friends will get together and they'll go and spend hundreds of dollars just at a restaurant. So I'm wondering, like, if
there's going to be some like the Plaza, which is a Mexican restaurant, and they also have a bar in there. Someplace like that would, and we have the Roma Italian restaurant that has an outdoor area. We have the chain restaurants that you could go to. So I mean, and then the hotels, some of them have little areas that you could hang out. It's going to have to kind of grow organically, because this town hasn't really seen that type of stuff.
Right.
So it's gonna be a growing process.
Sure. I wonder if maybe reaching out to the restaurants and cafes and saying those that are not part of chains, right? Because the chains will get all their traffic no matter what. But those who are like just a local, mom and pop, local community, run businesses, I wonder if they'll be like, say like, hey, come to our, after the event, come, flyers, right? Have flyers there, come to our event afterwards and get 10% off.
Yeah.
That'll draw a lot of traffic, because I think
I'm going to be going out next week and talking to some of them, and that is a great idea, because you see that at San Diego all the time, and City Comic Con. They'll come in because they want to drum up business. Okay, all these people are gathered here. We want to kind of get some of that after the convention type stuff, and that's definitely something, because we did want to talk to like some of the sponsors about putting their information in our grab bags,
exactly,
to where they could do that.
I mean, for us, right? Like we have like what we call Hell's Pizza, right? It's a very small chain, but it is a chain. But they're local, and so every year we put it on. I'd go and go, hey, can you put on together some pizza vouchers for our volunteers, right? And we'll add a couple more in the like the prize givings, and they'll do that, and that means that like they won't go to, you know, you don't have to go to Domino's, you don't have to go to
Yeah.
Pizza Hut, you go to that one. And so
Yeah.
they've been like that with us all the time. And something, and also like the cinema, right? We'll say, well, for our prizes, if we have some prizes, like for cosplayers or anime, right? For our cosplayers, we'll have like first, second, and third prizes and go, hey, can we have some, you know, free movie tickets we can hand out, or even free movie tickets to hand out to some kids who are really well dressed. Events like this really brings the community out, because it helps people to see that when businesses actually do stuff like that, like vouchers or discounts in events that are put on to help the community, because you're helping kids. Like the way I see it, when we were doing our stuff, because I don't do it anymore, I've did 5 years, is because like it was like, how do we focus on the careers for the kids for the future? Because kids come and go, they see a good artist and go, well, how do I? And then the artist will go, you know, this is how you start. When I was your age, I was getting this. I was reading a comic. Or I was reading a manga and got me started. And mom and dad got me some tools. And next thing I know, 10 years later, I'm doing this, you know, and sort of allows, when you have parents come in with their kids, I think a lot of times the parents are thinking, well, they just want my money here. And I think when the focus is on about the merchandising rather than actually connecting with the community, I think that's a better way. And I think I like what you're doing, because it means that there's a lot of things for the kids. And earlier we talked about mentoring and stuff. And like you say, one thing I really enjoy about what you do, because having artists and like having Shane, I watch kids walk up to Shane as an artist and talk to him about, so, you know, how'd you get started, you know, and all this.
Yeah.
And it's that's the thing what gets kids 10 years
Well,
on the road going.
Just kind of,
You
it
know,
opens
yeah,
their brain. I mean, you can see their brain just kind of going,
exactly.
dude, I can do this.
Mm.
This is something I love
Yeah.
and that I can do, you know, and this person's doing this.
Oh, and the other thing I was thinking, like libraries, right? Libraries have like what was it, like back checking. What is that? Back checking of the employees for police and all that. So if you know, with the, you know, for safety reasons, like for us, we had like our events was run, children's events were run by the library,
Hmm.
because they're all clean. So you're like, hey, if your kid's there in that section, then you know they're they're going to be safe. So the library, I'm not sure how your guys, you know, over in Borger, Texas, run, but like ours here have lots of like kids events. So you know, so they would like do like little badge things like this. One of them just fell off my back before, off my hat. So they would have like a press for this, right? So they'd have all these comics cut up, old comics. They're like,
Yeah.
you know, that torn up, and they, rather than throwing away, they'd hold on to it. So when the library runs their open days, they'll just have kids sitting at the table making these,
All right.
choosing their own little
That's
things. You know,
fun. I mean, it
Yeah.
gives the kids something that they can take home that they had a fun time
for
making.
free, right? And I'm sitting there usually with like about 10 of these and handing them out later to the,
Right.
you know, to our volunteers. I'm saying, here you go,
Yeah.
you know. And I think that's sort of like, you know, that sort of involving people that actually are part of like the children's, you know, family community stuff, you know, like even like, and I'm thinking off the top of my head, but like, handicapped children's stuff like that, you know, special needs,
Special needs.
you know, those guys, you know, don't get to go out much and stuff, you know, and especially the groups, and they're always looking for somewhere to go that's
Yeah.
fun. And I think something like this is always attractive to people who need things like that to do, day out, daycare stuff, kind of things. So it's really fun to hear what you're doing, man. I really enjoy, you know,
Well,
because
something that we didn't get to do this year that I
Mm.
kind of like to do is have it to where, you know, sometimes the autistic children are overwhelmed with sound and stuff.
yeah,
Have it to where we open up for autistic and special needs
right,
like an hour before, and say
yeah,
just it's going to be a quiet time. You can come in
yeah,
wheelchair. I mean, if you don't want to fight the crowd,
yeah,
you know, you can come in. But we didn't get that do that this year. There's a lot of stuff we wanted to do that we just
right,
either don't have the money to, or we just are running out of time to get
yeah,
developed and set into place.
yeah. Well, I mean, you only had like what, 5 months to do this in?
It'll be 6 months from the day it started. I came home that day and made the
Yeah,
logo.
yeah,
To when we put it on, it's 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to 2026 because we'll have a year to get things done. So, but yeah, it was 6 months to the day when we have the convention, basically. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's a lot more stuff I wanted to do, but we just ran out of time. I was
But
talking to a guy that's he has his own children's books, and he played in the NFL.
Yeah.
We weren't able to get him here this year, but I wanted to have him come down and before the convention go to schools and read his children's books,
right.
and then have him at the convention.
Yeah.
It just didn't work this year, and it may not work out next year, but that's the kind of stuff that we're kind of thinking, kind of out of the box that you wouldn't normally see at a convention, because we are a smaller venue, we're a smaller town, but we have all these cities around us that'll come and support this.
Yeah.
But we want to give them something unique that they're not going to get anywhere else, and
Right.
So it's stuff like that. It's some of our vendors. It's bringing in some of the guests that you might not see at some of the other conventions, or you might even have seen them before, and they're just nice people to talk to. So we bring them in, and like David Ankrum he's an amazing guy. He's just great. I've had the pleasure of setting up at 2 different conventions with him. And so I knew I wanted to have him at this convention. So he's wedge until he's in Star Wars.
So give me a moment here. I'm going to play the video again from our voice, Dragon Ball Z voice actor. See, one thing I
Mark
haven't
Whitten.
seen. Yeah, so one thing I haven't seen ever is Dragon Ball Z. So everybody freaks out that as a huge manga and anime fan that I haven't watched Naruto and I haven't watched Dragon Ball Z, and those 2 that everybody should watch.
Right.
I don't watch because I'm a classic fan, but I'm also one who watches lots of newer stuff. So that 90s age group, I missed out because I'm a Gen Xer. And then so, I just, to those 2, I haven't, and I have no interest, but I do talk to a lot of anime people, and one of the voice actors, I'm not sure if he's from if he was from Texas, but I do know one of the guys I talked to was from Blue Lock. I interviewed him a while back, and I'm not sure if he's from Texas, but I mean, like, there's a lot of guys who are from Texas who have done a lot of voice acting. So and such a these guys, anime itself, right? But a lot of people don't realize it's huge, like it's worldwide. And so, and then connecting that to comics, and and so many people being involved and loving the art form has really brought the 2 together, because it's it's pen and paper at the end of the day. So let me just put this on with kid for those who are just joining us, and I'll turn that down a bit because it's very slightly loud. So here we go.
You tell me we're going to Borger, Texas.
Not Burger, Texas. Borger, Texas.
That's what I've been trying to tell him, is we're going to Boomtown Comic Con at the Dome in Borger, Texas. When is this?
Saturday, March 22nd, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Are you in?
I'm in. I could use some comics and video games. And I can get some pop culture memorabilia. And we'll rule that con. We'll be the Borger Kings.
That joke was under 9,000.
I love it. Who did the animation on that? Because that's pretty cool.
He did all of that. He shot that video and did everything. He said he had gotten some new equipment, and we were the first convention that we got the benefits of that new equipment. I was like, oh man, that's awesome. That's great. So he sent that to me, and I had to laugh because he nailed the Borger, Texas thing. Yeah. Always getting it kind of messed up.
So. I realized a couple of years ago how big anime voice actor love the anime scene has for voice voice actors. It was like probably about a decade back, and I went to an event and I was like, why are these old guys lined up at these guys, and they're not even artists?
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
I'm
It's just
a
huge.
comic guy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, where's the comic artists and writers? Okay, I'm gonna go there, and I'm looking around. There's like lions. There's like hundreds, and there's like hardly anybody in the comics. I'm like, this is a big name guy, and nobody knows him. And I'm like,
Yeah.
because they're all kind of like, and then my brain clicks, and I'm like, anime is huge.
Yeah.
To,
I'm right there
to
with
kind
you.
of,
I had this
yeah,
same because I don't watch it
yeah,
either. And I when we talked to Mark, I kind of brought him in because my son's a big fan, Dragon Ball Z fan.
right,
So that's why I wanted to do that.
yeah.
You know, so
But
mine's Star Wars. So you
Yeah.
always probably see Star Wars guests because mine is Star Wars.
Yeah.
A little bit
But
of Star Trek, but
it's really good to see someone with his caliber coming down to a small, a town like that. And I mean small town. Ours is a small town, right? We've got about 80,000 or somebody.
well, and
so
to
many
put his
people.
faith in a first time con. I mean,
Exactly.
that's amazing. I thank all the featured guests and all of our vendors because they're taking. Of course, I lowered the booth rate because if they're
Yeah.
going to take a risk on me, I wanted to give them a little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit of a thank you. But for a first time convention,
Mm.
to take a risk like this and to come in, it's
Yeah.
like, thank you. I mean, you are helping make this bigger than we ever thought it could be.
Yeah,
So
I
we
mean,
appreciate them so
it's-
much.
because with him, he'll just bring the people that like are coming from Dragon Ball Z, right? And anybody who's like into Dragon Ball Z from all around there will be going, okay, well, why not just go for that guy? And then they find
Yeah.
out there's more people there. And this
Yeah.
is what I find interesting about events like that. It's like you go, oh, I didn't know you were into this.
Yeah.
How come? Because a lot of people don't talk that much, at school, and even adults don't talk that much apart from online, across the world, and they don't realize who's in their community that loves the same thing that they
Yeah.
love. And so
Well, we're
events,
kind of finding that
Yeah.
with Pippi Longstocking.
right?
A lot of young girls that watched that show back in the 80s or
Yeah.
even the previous version, but they watched her at Tammy Aaron in the 80s. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'd like to meet her,
Yeah.
or the people that love the Star Wars, or the guys that watch the wrestling, and
Yeah.
Sean Hernandez do his moves, and because he had a couple of signature moves.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then you have of course the comic artists, Shi Wang that's coming in, that's being brought in by 1.21 gigawatts, and then you have Brent Peoples that we're bringing in, who's Marvel DC. But you're seeing these guys that say, oh, Brent worked on Venom, and I'm a huge Venom fan. I'm going to go get a commission from
Yeah.
him, or I'm going to bring my book that he worked on and have him sign it. Or you have the Star Wars guests that we're going to have, and you're going, yeah, I'd love to have a signature of all of them.
Yeah.
Because I watched them and the stuff that they did.
Yeah.
That, or even just these indie guys, they have a fan following that, like, hey, I'd love to meet them. I bought their book on the internet. I've never been able to get down to Lubbock or wherever else they may show up, and then Christy, and then grab something from him. Christy was my wife, so that's why it's my. Karen and Thomas. Karen does the crafts, and Thomas does the self-publishing, and he worked on the children's book.
Right.
So you have great people just supporting the event. Just from the vendor part of it. Yeah, that's ugly. Shallow Tilly. She is the one that worked on some of the jewelry that was used in different TV shows and movies.
Right. Yes. Beautiful Gothic work. Love it.
Yes. And we actually didn't think we were going to be able to fit her in, and we were able to kind of work some stuff around and get her into the show. So, but you'll have all different types of artists too.
Yeah.
You'll have the comic book artists to the kind of a mix of fine art. Leilani Shu. I mean, you could see her one picture there where she's in the Jawa outfit, and then of course the pop culture, the little figurines and the action figures. But she's making TV history because she's the only one that's been staged, the only Jawa that's actually been named on screen.
Right.
And then her daughter has played a Jawa next to her. So it's just so cool, the history of it. 3D printing, we'll have a few of those, or a couple of those. We have a guy that does figurines for the gaming.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I love cutesy stuff. Like I was gonna like pull something out from in front of me, but like I've put them all away because I've been moving things around. But I love this sort of stuff. It's like, is this cool?
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a little bit of something. I mean, you'll find a vendor that might have. I mean, since there's gonna be so much stuff.
Yeah,
there's gonna be a vendor that will have something that you enjoy. I mean, from the gaming to the 3D printing to the artwork. And some of these are local. Some of them are traveling 2 or 3 hours to get here. Some of them are taking flights in. So there's Sean.
Oh, I know him. When you said Sean Hernandez, I was like, I know that name, but I don't know his what's his professional name? What's his name?
Let me pull up his bio because I can't remember all of it offhand.
Let me do a search. Hold on.
Featured guest Sean Hernandez is
it Homicide? He's not Homicide, is he?
No.
Sean Hernandez. Hold on. Because I'm a wrestling fan, so
he's worked in the American Exchange, the Latin American Exchange, the TNA.
That's where I know. That's where I know him from originally from TNA, back in 2010s.
Some of his signature moves are called the border toss and the diving splash. Yeah. So.
Wait, did I spell it?
I think he's going to be a fun one to meet. I've never met him before.
Mr. Texas, ring names, Double Iron Seek Hernandez, the Mass Super Tex, Mr. Texas. So I was just looking at his hold on, let me bring it up.
Which I didn't put that. Actually didn't even put that in his bio.
Hey Roger, what happened? Why are you so late?
Roger was probably working. He was probably working. Hey, Raj.
Yeah, it's like 9 o'clock now. There.
It is 9:02.
Right. So this is what I was looking at for Hernandez, right? So I know him from TNA.
That's him.
And what is it called now? Impact Wrestling, but TNA Wrestling.
Yeah, he's been involved with a ton of stuff, and then I think he has a school where he's teaching wrestling and training people now. He's real active, so I mean it's really cool.
Is the school in Texas, Houston, or is it like elsewhere?
He's coming in from, I think it's down in Dallas or something.
Right. Hold on, let me see if I can find.
I know it's on his Instagram page.
Right. Latest career. So where is he at the most latest? Come on. So the latest so he's leaving. He left. He's in the indie circuit now. So so he's open. I guess this is the thing about being in the indies is like on your own, right? As a wrestler, because you
promote yourself. You don't
have to work. You don't get stopped to go to some, you can't go to AEW to fight there. You can't go to NWA. You can't go to Global Wrestling. No, when you're on your independent, you can go wherever you want. Okay, I'm coming to, Borger. Okay, cool. Okay, what's happening next week? So this is what I love about indie wrestling is that you can just basically, you're not signed to anybody. You're doing your own thing. Much like, indie comics creators,
Which, I mean, speaking of that, we need to talk about your publisher who's going to be set up there.
Sure.
Comics.
I'm actually. I think this is the. Let me just get this out of the way. I've got records on top of.
Raj is bailing on me and going on a vacation. Can you believe that?
Well, you
He's
know,
not going to be at this. He's not going to be at this convention. He's going to be on a cruise to the the San Cabo or whatever the crap that he's going to. I'm
well, lucky
jealous.
him,
He's going to
right?
be on a sandy beach, and I'm going to be working my
Yeah.
tail off. I'll be having
Well,
as much fun as he does, though.
well, I got a message from well, you know, because I'm always on Skype with my publisher, and so Hawk said to me, man, I wish you were here with me. You're in America, so you could you come and help me out. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, play for my plane ticket, I'll be there. But
Right.
so here's the thing, right? Boomtown will be the first convention and public release of Incredible Comics.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah. Hold on. There we go.
We need to promote that. That it'll be
Yeah, it'll be the
premiering at this convention. Oh, I love the
There we
foil.
go. Is it backwards? It's backward, isn't it?
Not for me.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I'm looking
Yeah,
at
it's-
myself, I'm
it's-
like, it's backwards.
It's backwards on
Yes.
your screen, but it's right on our screen, on my screen.
Perfect. Yeah, so
Incredigirls. We get to see the premiere of it, huh? You
Yeah,
were tell a little bit about it now.
well, the thing is, like, I've been trying to keep it mum until number 2 comes out, right? I haven't even released it in New Zealand. The only people that have it is my family and my best friend, right? My, you know, who's an artist, because he did the covers on it. And so you get to see his artwork there in America from New Zealand.
Cool.
So I'll give you a little blurb once I pull this other ones out about Incredible. But this is so you get to see Shane's artwork on it. And he did
Cool.
about two covers for us. And he's one of my best friends. I only have actually 2 best friends, because they're people that, you know, you don't want to spread yourself too thin in life, because, you know,
Right.
but that's me. So I'm not sure if he's going to bring cards and stuff, but we
I
released.
hope he does, because I collect cards.
So, you know, Kevin Zimmer, I hate doing this because I can't see where I am on the screen. So
Zimmerman.
Kevin Zimmerman, our artist,
Okay.
on Incredible, he's American, and so he did all the cards, interior art, and everything, and he's got his own cover. So when we do our covers, we have the A cover always as an artist of the comic, so that you don't feel like you're being you know, bait and switched.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times, you know, when you get mainstream comics, so you get a really cool cover, and then you realize the art inside isn't that good. So we make you know, for us, we make it, you know, make sure that the A cover is always the original interior artist work. So yeah, so with this, I'm not sure which covers Hawk is going to bring, but we put a really some pretty cool covers, and so this was the A cover for it, right? And so interior.
Roger's already saying grab one of them. So
Yeah.
you've at least sold one.
Hopefully just not the one.
Two
So-
with me.
Yeah. So these are full color, all age comics, right? So you can pick it up and read it. You can, you know, you can, if you're an adult, you can read it. You're a kid, you can read it. If you're grandma, you can read it and pass it on. The reason we put that up is for an all ages is because I wanted kids to, you know, it was made for my niece when she was 4. So I wanted her to be able to read it. And so we made it very clean and very good for kids, you know, even like with the violence and stuff isn't so heavy. But just so that, you know, anybody could read it, and bedtime story type thing. Now it's full color. I think it's 22 pages, has a bit of activity as well, because it's a kid's book. In the back, it's got like a little coloring thing and numbers, which is the only thing that I think is the only art that I did for it. So, you know, let me pull you up here for a second there, and I can show this better. So we got a coloring thing, right? And then these are all the covers that we put out through it. I did a poster, which is a full somewhere. Here it is. So I'm not sure what what Rising Sun is bringing, but you guys get to be the first public in the world to see it, right, in Borger, Texas. So there's a very heavy, glossy poster of it, because I wanted to be able to not sort of like drip feed this comic out to people publicly. And so I was really excited to see Greg have this event on, because it meant that like somewhere it'll go out into a convention, because that's where I wanted to be able to put it out into a convention, rather than like, here you go, buy this off my website, because they could buy the PDF is available if you want to read it, and then if you decide you want to like buy a copy, you can actually get it directly from Rising Sun Comics, or show up to Boomtown, right, and be able to get it from Boomtown. And
well, that's exciting. I'm excited that you're premiering this at Boomtown Comic Con in March. That is awesome. Thank you for doing that. That is awesome. That's great. And I love that it's all ages.
Yeah. Like Incredible is meant for a 4-year-old. So it's, and
so I mean, that's great. I have to tell you something. Every time we meet wrestlers at convention, Raj tries to get me in a fight with him. I mean, there was one about 5 years ago that he kept trying to get him to wrestle me for some reason. It's like, I would whoop him. I would hurt them. I'd end their careers, Raj. Quit trying to get them to fight.
Those are fighting words. Hopefully Sean doesn't hear that.
Right. Oh, no.
What were you saying?
Yeah.
You might do a real shoot on you. The real thing, not the promo cut.
He'll do the what was it, the Borger or something? He'll do that on me, and I'll be gone. I'll be out of here.
What was his main? Where's the main moves? I think I had his main moves here somewhere.
One of them was the. I'll bring it back up.
Yeah, it's so cool, man.
Border toss and the diving splash. Yeah, he'd do the border toss, and I'd be out of here. He'd throw me out of Texas. Yeah, Ryback, he hadn't had his surgery yet. Yeah, that's the other one. Ryback is the other one that he tried to get me to wrestle with. But he hadn't had his spine reconstruction yet, so I don't think he was up 100%. I might have could have taken him. To lunch.
No, I've been watching wrestling since I was like probably 14, 13. And I watch AEW religiously. Then like when I have like a day off or whatever, I just sit there and just watch it.
Yeah.
And all the shows, because like over here in New Zealand, right? So you got to watch it like on digitally online and stuff. So there's no channel that shows it. And plus I don't have HBO, which they're on right now. So you guys, if you're elsewhere in the world, you can get, Max, and you'll be able to watch all their shows. But it's really, that's the third thing I like as part of my like pop culture thing. I like, comics, anime. I see comics and manga as the same thing. I don't differentiate between the two because they're both sequential art. Yeah. So comics, music, and wrestling, that's what makes me up. It's basically art, all of it. And I think it's just artistic the way those guys do the great things. So it's really cool to have Sean there for those, for people. Does he have any figures out that people could bring and have it signed? Like, I'm not sure, t-shirts and all that's there.
What? I hadn't looked at that because I was going to, but I hadn't looked at it yet. Because I'd like to, for myself, I'd like to get figures of any of them that have it and then have them sign them so that I can put them in my collection. Yeah.
Because because I don't know if he's got a pop culture one, but like I know that Funko Pop one. I know that TNA does did some sort of like figures back in the day.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And plus I have one of the TNA games here, so maybe he's on that as well. So people, if you're
it
like,
could be,
if you guys, out there are, gamers, you could have bring your TNA game across, and if you still have them, and get it signed.
Yeah, which all those celebrities, I don't have a list of what they're going to charge, but all of them will do signatures and selfies, and some of them will do video shout outs, but they'll have their pricing list there at the tables. That type of stuff. So
yeah, I mean, the thing is that most of the time the guys, they bring their own stuff as
Yeah.
because they know what they've got, and
their promo photos that they can use that are from Lucasfilm, or Pippi has her own as well.
oh look,
And then
I
Sean
found it.
have his. There is one.
I found it. Yeah, I knew that TNA put it out. So this
That's
is
cool.
one here. Look at this. It's a very rare 12-inch.
Cool.
Look at that. So if
So
you
you
have
can
this,
get an action figure and have him sign it, or
yeah,
sign the box if you get one in a box.
yeah. Let's see if there's others. Oh look,
Yep.
there's his was that Latino?
The
Let me just bring it
Latino.
up.
Yeah.
Latino World Order thing. I think that's the one. LTA. Yeah, Dizzard likes Impact 2. So yeah, he's got some pretty cool figures. They're actually decent figures. Is that Jax? I think Jax did really decent figures. Yeah, it is Jax. When he was with WWE, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some pretty cool figures. Latino World Order. I think that would have been when he was with who's Three Amigos? Who does that move? The most famous. I should know it. It's just like with brains just gone.
Yeah, I
can't remember.
I can't think of it either.
Yeah.
And he's from Houston, not Dallas.
Right, yeah. Houston,
So-
Texas.
Which is, I think, 8 hours from us. So
It's a whole days of traveling, isn't it? Like a day, basically
Pretty-
being at work.
pretty much.
Yeah. Clock in at work and I'm going to
Well,
drive.
I mean, if you went from the tip of Texas all the way to the bottom of Texas, it would take about 16 hours to drive. That's how big Texas is, from tip to top, or from bottom to top.
That's New Zealand.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's almost New Zealand, because I know I did an 8-hour drive from Auckland to, in the morning to Wellington, and that's like 8 hours. So that's from like, if you look at New Zealand, well, Auckland, it's like about, say this is the North Island. That's from there to there is 8 hours. That's the North Island. And so it's from here to here is 3 hours. So about 10 hours is basically from top of North Island to South Island, bottom of North Island. And so that's 8 hours and 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever. That's 20 hours you cover New Zealand. So that's why I don't
It's
really.
almost about the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So people don't realize how big Texas is, right? And how small New Zealand is when they look at us. We only have 5.5 million people, around that much. How many people live in Texas?
I know there's Amarillo is 500,000. So I mean, just
Right.
in one town near us, it's 500,000, and
Yep.
that's in the Panhandle. I mean, that's not even Dallas, Houston, Austin, some of those bigger ones. So yeah, I have no idea how many are in. I can't remember how many are in Borger, to be honest.
There you go. It was Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie
That was
Guerrero,
just me.
yeah.
Three Amigos. Yeah, and I think Hernandez was part of the like the Latino World Order. Was it LWO? Yeah, New World LWO. Yeah, LWO. So that's why I was thinking like he had the yellow, the green, red, and white trunks on just before that figure. So the rest of the people, we'll go through this. So we got that. We got sidetracked with Sean.
Right.
So now we've got Glenn Wallace. He's a tattoo artist.
Tattoo artist and just artists too. I mean, and
Yeah.
he's actually helping bring Sean in. They're friends. So he's
That's awesome.
and Glenn and the Stars and Stripes tattoo shop is helping bring in Sean.
I love this. This is so good.
Yeah, he's
That
won
is-
several awards. He's an award-winning tattoo artist, and we have
Okay.
a couple of tattoo artists that are set up here, and they both are award-winning ones. So some real talent there.
That is so good.
And they're going to have prints and different things too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not, and they're not going to be tattooing at the event. We didn't get the
Sure.
license this time around. Like
Yeah,
I said,
it's health and safety.
5 months is not
so-
enough to get everything done that you want to get done. But
Yeah.
they're gonna have artwork that you can buy, and then you can schedule tattoos at the shop with him
Yeah.
and with the other artist, Michael. So
Yeah.
one's a tattoo artist out of Amarillo, the other's out of Fritch, which is 15 minutes from us. Dr. Kyle Robertson, he's the writer on the Lyle and Stanley, and
Right.
it's drawn by, I think the next slide is going to be.
So Lily and Stanley, for those who don't know how Texan accents work.
Lily and Stanley. Sorry, I misread. There's Cleve. He's their novelist.
So fantasy novelist here.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Kind of looks like is that steampunk as well involved? No,
There is
Western.
There is some punk stuff involved, and sword and sorcery, the fantasy.
It's pretty awesome. I love the artwork on the covers.
Yeah, there's some beautiful stuff, and he's done a lot of novels. There's a lot of talent.
Yeah. So you got the main group of people here. You got Brent Peebles. Do you want to tell us about that?
Brent People is the Marvel DC artist. He's worked on Venom. Let me read what he's done.
Sure.
Because I can't remember it all. He has done work on such titles as Ghost Riders, Spider-Man, The Lost Hunt, Major X, Ultimate Comics, Absolute Carnage, and Miles Morales and Venom. So,
right.
And he's also done a bunch of stuff for Zenoscope, IDW. I know I have some signed stuff from him that he's done Godzilla covers. He's done Ghostbusters. Right. He's done, he's one of those artists that you go, why aren't you more well known? Because he's done so much stuff. He's just, and he and I and Christy, we've all kind of been conventioning together because I met him, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And we were all kind of just starting out then, and he's just his career is just, amazing. He does the sequential art, not just the covers. He does sequential art on all those books, the covers on that stuff. And it's just, he's worked on the Flash, Action Comics, Teen Titans for DC, the Terrifics. Let's see, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters. So he's had some huge titles, huge
books.
Properties that he's working.
So if you're a collector, if you're a comic fan, whatever, look through your comics, or go grab what comic with his name on it and bring it down and get it signed. this is a perfect time to do that, right? If you're around Texas, Houston,
and he'll have original art and prints as well.
Yeah, and Roger was just saying to get his print signed.
Yeah. He's already put in a list of stuff he's wanting from some of the guests.
Right, and we looked at Mark earlier, so we leave that alone. But like Tammy, tell us about Tammy Aaron.
Tammy Aaron, she is the child actress Pippi Longstocking.
Okay.
Which that's where people are going to know her from. But she's done her bio. Let me get to it. Is pretty amazing. She knows, she's loved in 13 languages because the Pippi Longstocking film's been translated, and they're working on a documentary of I Am Pippi. She has done work in UNICEF as an ambassador, with the United Nations. She's done a lot of nonprofit fundraising stuff. Clothing lines, it's just a ton of stuff. Just a really impressive.
We had Pippi Longstockings on TV when I was a kid,
right?
So I remember. So it's kind of like pretty cool to that she was there.
Yeah, and the one she was in, and that's actually the one before she was in. She was actually in the New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking.
Okay. Let me grab
which was the 83 version.
That's probably the one that I saw then, because we used to have like is this maybe this is her, right? Let me just pop this up. because from what I mean, I'm not good with faces, but
Well, that was the
it was
previous
we had the
actress on the
cartoon.
earlier one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
her here, right? Is this her, or is that somebody acting as her?
That's somebody acting like her. Yeah.
Hold on, let me go to it's probably better if I go to IMDb, which is probably going to give us a banner.
We could do Tammy and Pippi.
Yeah,
And she's also worked in movies like in films like Kill You Twice, Don't Just Sit There, The Little Rose, and Disconnect, and also appeared in Christmas special film of Adult Swim's Tim and Eric's awesome show. Great job.
here we go. All right, so I'm just going to play a bit of this and then read out Roger's comment there as well while we get this. So you guys can, for those who want to refresh their memory, like I needed to do this now. I think this is what we saw in New Zealand on TV, because replay. Usually when you've got TV, it comes out a little years later.
Right. Yeah.
Freedom calls, Pippi runs. The girl who never heard she couldn't do something. Watch out, world. Here she comes. She's bound to teach you more than
What are you kids doing?
Pippi Longstocking is coming into your town. No one can keep you down. No, 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 no. The one who's fun to be around. Whoa, whoa. Pippi Longstocking is coming into your world. A friend who makes the his girl you wanna know. She'll throw your life into a whirl.
She's pigtails. She's freckles. She's fun if you're young or old. And she's loved the world over. She's Pippi Longstocking.
She loves trees and blowing seeds, and the mountains please her more than toys do.
Welcome, pigtails, freckles, and fun.
Well done, Mr. Nielsen.
Welcome to the new adventures of Pippi Longstocking. She's coming to your town this summer.
Bye, who's fun to be around.
All right, let me go to her page on IMDb.
Which is probably gonna have a lot more listed than what I read off a while ago, because she's done a lot of different stuff.
Oh, she's about a year younger than me, so she's 50 now. She's about to turn 51, but yeah. So Tamara Aaron Klickman. Let me see. Hold on, I went too far. That's all the bio there. But here's the movie listing. So Disconnect, New Adventures. I wonder if she did. Yeah, I thought she would have done like the cartoon. It's really awesome to hear that she's involved in with kids because of following on as a child actor, right, and acting and stuff like that. It's really cool to see that. I think it's just amazing that that they're able, people are able to give back so much from the something great like that. A lot of people just don't do that, and I I think it's really awesome. Now I'm going to put us to the rest of the list. Let me bring back to the Facebook page. And we talked about Dragon Ball Z, the voice actor Mark Kidman earlier, Britain. Now, I went too far. Hold on. Pop back up. So the next one here is David Ankrum. So who is he and what's he about?
Well, he Star Wars actor. He played Wedge Antilles in the original New Hope Star Wars, and then he's also done some of the newer stuff as well as Wedge Antilles, and then he's done some voice acting as well. But his list of stuff is, I mean, he started 2 or 3 decades. I mean, he's been doing television for a while. He's I'll just read off some of the stuff.
Sure.
He's worked in Every Little Crook and Nanny, Victor Mature and Lynn Redgrave, The Sting 2, with Jackie Gleason, Cracking It Up, directed by Jerry Lewis, Bellhop. I mean, it's just he's been in Moonlighting, Murder, She Wrote. I mean, that's just skimming over some of the highlights. I mean, the list is just long with the stuff that he's acted in. But of course, I knew him because of Star Wars and Wedge Antilles. He's Rogue One, the original New Hope, and then his wife is a novelist, and we were trying to get her here as well, but they have a dog that has just become diabetic, and so she's gonna have to stay home and take care of the puppy dogs. So, but otherwise, her novels have been turned into Hallmark movies.
Right.
So she's as just as accomplished as he is. But yeah, you're scrolling through some of the stuff he's worked in. It's just I mean, it started in the 70s and had a long career doing not only acting but voice work and background voice acting and just a plethora of stuff that he's worked in.
52 years of it. He's been he's been involved in.
And I mean, look at some of the names of some of the stuff he's been in. It's just it may just be an episode here and there or stuff, but it's a ton of work though. Tabitha, that's another big one that he was at the spinoff. He was, I think, one of the main people in that show.
Yeah. So as well as working as a producer, writer, composer, additional crew. So he's been involved for 50 odd years. So it's really good to see someone of his caliber, right? His length of work being involved.
Well, and also this, not only will he appeal to some of the current Star Wars fans, but some of those people that are 50 years ago you watched him on TV. Black and white TV. In some cases it was black and white TV. And you've seen him act when he was young, and then through the ages. So it's you could get a signature from he has a lot of Star Wars that he brings, but he also has some from Tabitha and some of the other earlier work that he did. He has those. So like if you're a fan from years ago, you could come in and get a signature from him. And he's such a cool guy. So I'm a real pleasure that he's going to be here.
Awesome. So the other person you've got here is C. Andrew Nelson. Who is that?
He has played Darth Vader 70 times in the last 12 years. 70 times. But he's multi-talented. He's an award-winning actor, writer, consultant, and motivational speaker. He's known for his work portraying Darth Vader in the special edition re-releases of the original Star Wars trilogy, as well as the Rebel Assault 2 and Dark Forces games. He's done a bunch of other stuff. He's print, commercials, games, live appearances. He kind of does a little bit of everything. He has his own visual effects and voice acting animation studio.
That's awesome.
So he's a real. He's a nice guy too. I met him and David at one of the other conventions, and I said, I've got it. When we started putting this on, I said, I would love to have both of them here at this convention. And luckily, they both said yes. So,
now, I'm trying to figure out if this is him here. Now, I've got a listing for him, but he's like he's an actor, visual effects, and producer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's worked on Jurassic Park.
That's one of his. Let me read some of that. He's done The Phantom Menace, Galaxy Quest, The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, The Perfect Storm, Jurassic Park 3, The Time Machine, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. He's worked in the industrial light and magic with the Star Wars stuff. but he's worked on games like Dark Forces, Rebel Assault 2, Full Throttle, The Dig, Jedi Knight, Curse of the Monkey Island, Masters of Taras Kasi, Shadows of the Empire, Rogue Squadron, and Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. So he's done a lot of stuff, from movies to video games, visual effects, sound effects, voice acting. Just a super talented guy.
A lot of gaming here. So for anybody's, not acting, you've got a lot of gaming voices as well. So if you're into, if you got any of these games, you can bring that along to get that signed. I know gamers are really keen on, just like anime fans under voice acting. Yeah. So you've got that as well.
The cult followings of their games or their actors, their voice actors, their stuff.
Yep. And of course, you mentioned the visual effects. His company with the visual effects, they worked on Jumper, Jurassic Park 3, Perfect Storm, also with like episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Let me hear this. About 23 movies he's been involved with effects. Witness, Race to Witch Mountain, which is the most recent one in 2009. Enchanted, Kite Runner, Rush Hour 3, visual digital artist. Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, one of the best ones, I would say, with the Silver Surfer in it. That had, that was really good. Who's a black actor that wasn't it? Lawrence Fishburne, one of my favorites. Yeah.
Fishburne's awesome. Yeah.
Matrix, but he rocked as Silver Surfer. It was brilliant, the voice and everything. So Rocky Balboa, the recent one with 2006. So yeah, he's been his company, right? So he's not someone who just does voice acting and stuff, but he's visually.
No, it's a lot of stuff. Yeah, super talented guy, super busy.
Also with their recent podcast as well, a couple of years back. Let me see if I've got anybody else here. No,
we have Liliani Shu, which I don't have on that thing that you were showing, because I had no.
Let me bring this up. So the next one we've got here is the books, the writers, right? So you got the Blue Hand Publishing. You got Charles D'Amico, AJ Whitney, AJ Whitney, Will Boher.
I don't know how to say that one. I've never met him. So Boher.
And then you got Jordan Reed. So you got
which I know for sure that Jordan Reed is going to be there signing.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other authors. Blue Handle reps a lot of authors, so they're setting up there to sell their books, but they are going to bring in some of the authors and do signings. And I know Jordan Reed is going to be there. He's a local artist, or local writer, novelist. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be there, and I'll have to get a list of everybody else, but I'll be promoting that more on the website.
Right.
Who's going to be here. And then you can pick up, you have all different kind of genres there that you could pick up if you're interested in different things. And I love the amount of novelists that we have, the amount of children's books people we have, and the amount of comic book artists because you could come in and pick up a whole slew of stuff to keep you entertained for a while.
Yeah. I was rushed over to get this because my friend, I just had this delivered yesterday, but I interviewed one of my friends, I think it was end of last year, and he did a crowdfunding for his book, and it's just arrived yesterday morning. And I haven't even opened it because I've been busy, but he's a writer as well. So it's really
that's awesome.
It's really cool to have people, writers at events, because I had them at my event previously as well as the writers.
Yeah,
they had their own, and then they had their own rooms. So this is a crime novel. So I noticed that you've got Sovereign Dad looks like a crime novel because you can tell by the artwork, right? So this is a crowd.
What's that called? Glass Barbie?
Yeah.
Yep, Glass Barbie. Okay.
It's a crime novel, but it's like the cool thing is that writers, they create writers and artists, they create stuff, and it's really cool to be taught. A lot of people that don't do the artwork, if you're a writer, it's a good time to talk to writers, to learn how to learn the craft if you're just starting out or something. And it's really, pick up a book, read a book, it's a good time to, and plus you're going to get it signed,
Yeah.
by those guys. And you never know, the thing about conventions is you never know whose next thing's going to be picked up by whatever, and next thing you know, it's big.
Yeah.
And it's really good to support, locals and stuff like that, and creatives, especially in this AI shit time. Excuse my language, but especially with, support real creatives, not the fake stuff.
Right.
So the next one we've got is, of course, we just talked about C.
Andrew
Nelson, and if you've got your action figures and stuff, if you're a toy collector, bring it along, get it signed.
Yep.
Who else we got here? We went through these guys.
David, which you can see some of the black and white stuff that he's been in. And then his Red 2 holding.
So here's a tattoo artist we talked about earlier that we didn't get to see.
Michael Schroeder, Michael Art. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to have some fun. He does some beautiful watercolor type tattoos. So you see his artwork there, but then you look at his tattoos and he does that same effect on his tattoos, the watercolor style. And then he does the ones that look like patches.
Yeah.
It's just, he does some beautiful stuff. And then he does some traditional artwork as well, so it's very cool.
And then we're talking about Brent Peebles.
Which Brent's also going to be bringing his Found One clothing line. He's actually developing a Christian line of clothing that the messages are positive, encouraging, and godly. And he's going to be bringing that line of, and he's just released a new set of clothing, so it's going to have different messages, different artwork, and on there. Robert Bevan is the artist on Lily and Stanley. And he's going to be there with Dr. Robertson. So we're excited to have him. And Robert's actually providing 3 convention exclusive prints that are going to be given away. So
that's pretty cool.
To different people, different times. 50 people, the first 50 people in line are going to get one of the prints.
I noticed event exclusives, right? Convention exclusives go up in price because they don't get released anywhere else.
Yeah.
So
this will be the only place you can get them.
Yeah, I think it was SDCC that had it shot up to about 400 just the moment it left.
That is crazy. Well, you never know who you're going to get here. You might be getting an up and coming artist that all of a sudden explodes. So it's exciting to have these guys join us and be part of the first year for sure. Where are you running off to?
My stuff's everywhere, so I have to
go grab it. Yeah,
left or right. But talking about convention exclusives and nerding out, and I still haven't read these, and I've had them for over a decade. So check this out.
Oh man, that's cool.
Look at how
all kinds of signatures. Is that like Compendium 1? Yeah.
This is Compendium 1, right? 45 issues.
Yeah. Hey, a fun story. My wife we were at a convention. Oh, that's number 2, huh? Yeah. I don't have the hardbacks, but I have the softbacks. Yep. And my wife was able to get Robert Kirkman, the actor that played Shane, and the actor that played Glenn to sign my first compendium.
Right.
I think that's so awesome. But who are the signatures? Just the creators on that? The artists?
Is, Charlie Edlad, and I think it's
okay.
I don't know. So when I opened up my shop in 2014, excuse me. So when I opened up my shop in 2014, the comic shop, right? Here, I needed some centerpiece. So this basically cost me $150 each, New Zealand.
That's not bad. I mean, just buying the compendiums.
Which is $100 each, American.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I'm happy to pay $300 for that. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So I had them in the shop as showpieces. I've never read them because it's I don't want to touch them. I don't even like touching them because and this is a bad thing. If you are a comic artist, right, do not sign the frigging cover in silver paint pen. It smudges. do it inside. You've got all the space, man. Just do it inside. Please
but
do it
you
inside.
can't see it there.
Who cares if they don't see it? It's the collector who's going to like go, here, look.
Yeah,
But now,
they
like,
signed the inside of my book is where
Yeah.
they signed it, so that's
because
I don't have to
you just-
worry about it smudging off.
yeah, it's like, look at this. It's like smudging off. And so, people go, well, it's not, whatever. But like, if it was inside, it would be beautiful. But it is beautiful. But like, it's just annoying because, you don't want to handle it.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, so
those are cool. That's a
they're
good grab.
heavy, man. They're heavy, dude. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
they're probably about 2 kgs. Like, I don't know what that is in pounds, probably like about 4 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Yeah.
I know mine aren't hardcover, and they're heavy.
It's like
Nice.
90 issues of a single comic book and 2 of those. And there's like, if you're paying it each, that's like about what, $900?
Yeah.
Because at $10 an issue in New Zealand. So yeah, $900, and all I paid was $300 plus signatures plus, it's like, it was a steal. And I was like, yes.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I mean, especially if events are amazing for signature grabbing, right? Because bring your work and get signed, and you've got Brent there with his work, so and signatures and stuff. So the other one
I'm going to be talking to a guy that does authentication.
Yeah.
Signature authentication. I don't know if we'll be able to get him here this year, but he actually does that for one of the companies.
Right.
So I am going to be talking about that with him probably this week or next week.
Right.
And then I'll let people know if that actually is going to be going on. If not, they can get a signature.
Well-
It just won't be authenticated. But I
Well,
mean, you're watching them do it. So if it's just for you,
Yeah.
then it's just
I
for
mean,
you.
I've got stuff everywhere, like on the walls and stuff. Let me just pop this off about signatures. Now, one thing I was gonna about authentication, right? So one of the things is that like you could do a little Boomtown little card made up, right?
Yeah.
And then you could just have
Which
whatever, which they could send along with.
well,
with the
I'm thinking
comic.
about doing a
Definitely.
boom sig type thing to where it's actually part of our business. To
Yeah.
where we have these celebrities and they'll sign a certain number, and then we'll have those on the website. I hadn't developed that yet, so it may take until next year or so to do a little bit of development on that, to where we have the certificate of authenticity, the seals, to where and I don't know if I'll need to get certified with another company or just do it, them trusting me that this has actually happened.
Yeah.
Take photographs of the people doing it, have them numbered, that type of stuff. If I can kind of pull something off this year, I'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll have a few items on the website for sale. If not, look for it later. But it's something that I am thinking about doing, just as, because it would actually help us make a little bit more money to where we can do more things in the future. So,
And the thing is here is like, I mean, it is good to do that because it actually supports you going, as a convention runner, helps you get some money to not always be having to reach out to get funding, because it makes you stand on your own feet, which is what everybody should want to do, right?
Yeah.
Especially with events. But the first one's always the hardest, and I think a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to start on first one. And so the best thing to do that, like to help runners out, is like let everybody know, promote the
spread
hell out
it,
of it,
share it, tag your friends. Yeah, I mean and we've had so much support so far. I mean, it's been great because that page blew up as soon as we announced it. I mean, the trends just started going up. We've had over 10,000 views on our page.
That's pretty cool.
So I mean, it's still going up. It's like 105,000. Sorry, so it's almost at 110 views on our page. So we're being seen, and that's because everybody's interacting, everybody's sharing. Everybody's might leave a comment, and that's allowing us to be seen by other people that may not follow us and aren't friends with us, hadn't followed or whatever. So that helps. Derek Moreland, he's a writer. He does Space is Awful and Monsters with the other Derek. They're the D&D that are coming from Lubbock.
Right. Now, let me just see if there's, so there's George
George
Zapata.
Zapata. Yeah, he's a manga anime type artist. He's from Amarillo, local guy. We've known George for 14 years.
It's awesome.
So, yeah. Kendra, she's a local artist. She's here in town. She does a lot of gaming, anime, 3D printing, very talented, very smart. And she was actually me and Christy's flower girl when she was that little tiny 3-year-old.
Right.
So we've known her for a very long time. There's the other Derek of D&D. He's the artist. He does phenomenal. If you like the pop culture new artwork from Marvel DC, he does that, but he also does the children's books, and he has his own comic, and I think he's going to premiere in one of his newest issues at the convention as well. Issue 4 of The Space is Awful, or 5.
Yeah.
4 or 5, I can't remember. But I know he's kickstarting, or he's not kickstarting. He's opened it up to purchase, and then he's going to get it printed. So I'm pretty sure he'll have those new copies plus the issues 1 through 3 or 4. They're available. So super talented guy. Now I've known him for at least 10 years. So then Mark Britton, which we've already discussed him. Awesome. Billy Thompson, he does those. If you look in the very back up in that corner.
So you're talking about he does armory stuff, right? Like
the armory stuff. He does the wooden products.
That's pretty cool, man.
The shield, and you can see the hammers, and and I actually have one of his pieces that has lion heads on the mace part of it, on the head, and it just does phenomenal work. If you're into the fantasy Dungeons and Dragons, and you just want a mantle showpiece,
look at this.
Go grab some of his one of his hammers.
Yeah, especially if you're into collecting works of art, like physical art, and if you're, as a cosplayer and stuff, it's pretty cool. Next up, we've got Ink Dragon. So
Sadie King.
Craft work.
This is going to be her first convention. We actually met her when we were set up at a farmer's market, and she does the anime, and she's really excited. She's young. And this is going to be our first convention, so kind of getting her broke in on that. She has stickers. She does original artwork. Just a cool kid, and she's going to do some things in life. I mean, it's just it's going to be neat.
It's always good to support the young ones coming up, because at the end of the day, you don't, if you don't support the young ones, they get the bit, kind of what you call it, like a,
They could get discouraged, but giving them the encouragement.
So there's a little, I think this was like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old we got this from,
I think Sadie is 16, I think, or 15 or 16. I can't remember when we met her. She was a young girl, and she's from one of the area towns around Borger, so she's going to be coming in. Probably with her family and setting up at the show. So we're excited to have her. I think it'll be a fun first experience for her, and that's what we're trying to have for everybody. Fun experience and meet fans and just have a good time.
I had one of the girls. She's only 14 years old. I didn't realize she was 14 because she's taller than me. Right. And so I was going to get her to do some artwork, like anime manga art for one of my comics. And then Dad goes, she's only 14. I don't think she'd be, the mature comics yet. I said, well, what if I get her to do a cover? And so she said, fine. So she did a cover for us. And it was like, I paid her for it. I said, just encourage, because I think, it's great to do that, to support the young ones, because the next generation of creatives, because you want to do that. And I think this is what I love about conventions, making that step up, because you're letting a young ones show off their work, but also earn something and realize that this is something they could actually make money from as a career, as well as talk to older people who are in it for years, right? To mentors we talked about earlier, that these kids can learn get some mentoring done about how to do stuff, or maybe their line work or something. But I love this. It's like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
little cute little, what is it like? Did you say they were like stickers and stuff?
Yeah, those are
You know?
stickers. But so she's developing her product mix, her setup. She started out at the farmers market, and then through the summer, you could kind of see her growing, what she had, the amount of artwork she had, getting stickers, getting prints, and then but we've seen her at 2 different summers through the farmers markets. So it's neat to have her coming to the show, and it makes me think back to when I was 16. I was approached and somebody said, "Hey, I want you to draw the cover for my poetry book." And I'm like, and they gave me a good amount of money. And I'm like, this is cool. I'm making money with my artwork. Of course, me and my brother had a scheme when we were in grade school where I drew artwork and he sold it, and we made about $40 selling quarter to $1 artwork. So I knew kind of the business from early age.
And here you are now, decades later, offering the same event, a venue of your own, event of your own to someone young to do that. And this is what I see a lot of people don't realize, the long-term effects of encouraging young ones, right? And actually saying, hey, you do some work and you get paid for that. It gives you a thrill because it's like your value to what you're doing, and encourages you to do that. And so, I think it's something that parents really need to concentrate on, is like, bringing kids along to show them that there is other avenues rather than just sports or whatever, because not everybody is into the same thing as a young kid.
Well, I mean, we all have different aptitudes for different topics or areas, and you want to encourage those the best you can.
Yeah, these are really cool. I really think that they're really.
She does great work. And she's growing. Jake Goodman, he is another one that is doing a comic convention exclusive for us, and these are on the website too if people want to go look at them. But he's a good one. His work is very, I'd almost call it fluid. It's very, very. You have the thick holding lines, you have the fluid interior lines, and then like that top left, I think, is colored by Dan or David Kemp, and just beautiful work.
Is the Rocketeer looks really awesome here.
And he's going to have these prints here, and he's going to have a con exclusive for the convention. And I can't wait to meet him because I've yet to meet him in person. But he's been doing the comic convention scene circuit, and fans seem to like him a whole lot. And fellow convention floor attendees really dig him. So that's a good sign. It's just a cool person that you can approach, I think. Matt Mosman, he's coming from California. I've known him for 14 years. Talked to him several times at Emerald City. Say that again.
Very detailed work.
Oh yeah, and he has his own comics. He's a self-published guy. He's submitted work to Marvel, DC. I'm not sure if he's ever got any work, but I know he's gotten. He knows several of those editors, and he submitted work to them. They've given him a ton of feedback. So he's taken that, and he's actually working on his own books, and he's going to have a book that's going to premiere at the convention as well. So really excited about that. I can't wait to see it and get a copy. So I really appreciate him flying in and joining us. Tammy Aaron, we've already discussed her. Kid Walk. That is one of our miniature. It's the Emporium
D&D bags. Yeah.
But he prints these little tiny figurines that you can paint and use in Magic the Gathering. Which one sets up?
D&D, right? So you got your Dungeons and Dragons,
or he has the bags for it, but he has the little figurines that you can play different things. And of course, I guess you can set those up in D&D as well. So
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen his work up close yet. I've just seen the pictures, so it's going to be nice to have. And he's from one of the area towns. He's actually coming in, driving in to set up, and but it's AUG Emporium. So.
Right.
And I cannot
He's a
remember
cool-
who that. I can't remember who that vendor is.
Is it ceramic?
It's that stuff you put on mugs.
Right.
It's the mug stuff. And then we have Lonnie's. I don't think that's Lonnie's.
Chatsky stuff.
There's some keychains. We have another person that does like the Borger Bulldogs is that. So they're going to have some stuff for the schools that represents the town, and then they're going to have some superhero stuff. The embroidered and the stitched stuff. That's the hotel that people can stay in.
It's nice.
It's a really nice hotel, and they gave us a pricing block discount. They have morning breakfast, so anybody that stays there, they can grab breakfast, and then they can go 3 blocks to the convention center.
That's not bad. Just walk.
No,
walk
they
over.
they could actually walk. They could walk past Starbucks, grab a Starbucks if they didn't grab enough coffee at the hotel, and walk to the convention center, and boom, you're right there. You can grab a KFC on the way down if you didn't get enough breakfast, and that's a Holiday Inn Express, and that's GameQuest. They're going to be one of our gaming hosts, and they also are setting up. They have three 10x10 spots, so they have a lot of 80s, 90s pop culture stuff, the stuff that we grew up on. They have records, they have video games, they have gaming stuff. So they're going to be a fun one to visit. And of course, Hawk Sanders, that's your publisher.
Yeah.
Rising Sun Comics. That is the West Texas Galactic Alliance, and they're the ones. And them and several other groups of troops are going to be coming in to do a fundraiser for our Borger Area Learning Center, and that they're going to be in costume. And I know that we'll probably have a Obi-Wan, we'll have a Tusken Raider, we'll have a Snow Trooper. There's no telling. We may even have like a Darth Vader and R2-D2 units, maybe even the C-3PO. There's going to be a ton of those costumers that are the kind of the 501st style stuff.
Right.
So it's great, and that's our nonprofit that 10% is going to. That's the board of directors, and then me and Christy in the back right.
Awesome.
So
and
that's
that's the one you can.
the Borger Area Learning Center.
So we got Chi Wang.
Chi Wang is he's brought in by 1.21 gigawatts. He's pretty prolific. He started DC Marvel in the 80s. He's done coloring. He has his own company where he publishes more of the mecha big robot comics. So he's going to be a great one to come in and get some signed stuff from, and even talk to about the industry. He's a publisher,
Right.
so he has his own publishing company. And from what I've talked to him, he's a really, really nice guy. So, and he does the job.
1.21 gigawatts. 1.21 gigawatts. That is the name of my store. It's also the amount of electricity needed for time travel. And that's how you're going to feel when you step into my store. You're going to feel like you step back into 1985. My store is all about the comics, toys, and nostalgia. If you have that nostalgia itch that needs to be scratched, come to my store. It's on 601 North Main Street, Borger, Texas. Again, I am 1.21 gigawatts, comics, toys, and nostalgia. The greatest toy and comic shop in a 50-mile radius in the great panhandle of this great state of Texas. 1.21 gigawatts.
Stu, I love it. I love
So-
it. Well, and he's okay. He is setting up with your publisher with Hawk and Chi Wang. So they have 3 10x10s. on
That's
a corner.
awesome.
So they're going to have a nice setup, and I think they're trying to do some special stuff for the event. And like you've already said, you're going to be premiering your Incredigirl comic there, and I can't wait to see what else that your publisher and Chi Wang and Stu come up with for the event. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see so like a local business involved as well as local publishers. Because Hawk lives over there in Texas.
Yeah.
So talking before I move on to the next one, talking about local involvement, like with creatives, how many local creatives are involved in this?
In the
off the top of your
convention?
head? Yeah,
Probably half of them.
right.
I mean,
That's not bad,
half of the
actually.
booths. I mean, we have a lot coming. I mean, if you're talking like a 2-hour radius as local, or are you talking just local?
2 hours, anywhere around the
Okay,
area.
2 hour. I'd say about half of the artists and writers that are coming in are from that radius.
Right. So
And
that's
then
about 30.
there's some coming in from further out. But
Yeah, so that's like 30 booths are basically local and 30
Yeah.
like outside. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's really good for that involvement. So next one we've got, well, of course we just said that. So you got Smoking Kettle, some food.
Oh yeah, this is some of the greatest popcorn you'll ever taste.
All right.
Yeah, they're going to be set up in the parking lot. We bought some popcorn from them around Christmas, and it was just a kettle corn, and then they've added flavors since then. But yeah, it's really good. They're setting up. We didn't bring in any food trucks because we're going to have the chef and at the concession. So and we'll look at that and see if it works this year. But this year we have the Smoking Kettle, and then we have the concession stand going on. So excited about that.
Awesome. Chatskis.
Yeah, see that's Lonnie's. Let me look at their full name.
A lot of craft and stuff.
Lonnie's Handmade Keychains and More. Yeah, they're going to fill up a end cap of the keychains. I can't even remember everything. Little
it's like stickers, soft toys.
Yeah, well, and a lot of it's handmade. She'll make it. And I know she was actually called us and said I could use a 20 by 20 area.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sold out. She goes, well, we'll figure it out. Because she's grown her business so much.
Right.
That she figured out with the last few shows that she needs a bigger area. And she just didn't get to us quick enough to get the 20 by 20 area.
Right.
So she just has the 10 by 20 area for the end cap. So a lot of fun stuff kids will like. And if you're high school, grab a keychain or little stuffed animal for the kids. Fun stuff. And that's some more of her the characters and different things.
And handmade, right? So it's not something that's just going to pick off the shop retail stores. So it's pretty cool. It's a lot of stuff, cool stuff.
Yeah,
man.
It's going to be a full booth.
Yeah.
And it's her and her husband that do it. So
nice. And this is where it's all at.
The dome. That's the aluminum dome. It's a historic dome. 2 of them, I think, have been made in the U.S. And so it's a historical site as well as the convention center. And that's the layout.
Let me go back there. Bring it down a bit. Right. So you got all the venues. You can get this off the website there on the Facebook.
And if you actually... That's the layout for the vendors in that area, in the circle area.
Yep.
And then we've changed up the other part to where the wall. Anyway, I'll be loading a new map that's going to show everything, where everything is, because the gaming is going to be on the north side of that of the ballroom, which is on the far right. And there's going to be a second exhibit hall next to where you can get food, and then where the panels are going to be. So, and that could be opened up to one big room, but I'm going to split it in half and have gaming on one side. There's going to be one of the rooms. The Eddie Edwards room is going to have Pokemon in it. The other room is going to have the D&D, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Warhammer. And then there's going to be a second exhibit hall where we're going to have the overflow vendors. There's going to be 5 or 6 in there, and then the area where you can sit down and eat, and the kids coloring place is going to be in there. And then we're going to have the panels on the stage, and we'll have a live DJ DJing the event. So, and then one of the rooms is going to be for the 501st to change in. So this is going to be okay. This is cool, and this is a called Snapshots. And she has gone in and made custom backgrounds because she has a green screen that you stand in front of. But you have like comic stuff, Spider-Man stuff. You have stuff blowing up. You have POW. And then you can have sword. She has the stuff you can wear, but you go in there, you pay a little bit for the photographs. And take the photographs, and they put you over the green screen to where you can put the backgrounds on, and then you get the print off of the cool photograph. It's that you can, and they'll have the Boomtown logo on there,
right?
So you can get a souvenir or a memorabilia type thing of the event. I love it. It's so fun. There's some more of the same, but she's showing some other things that she's done. Yeah.
So with this one, you'd have like the comic books and pop culture events on the back of that.
And we actually, from the Boomtown, we actually shared. There's one of our sponsors, the Cook's Feed Check. From Boomtown, we actually shared a video that she made showing some of the backgrounds.
Are these candles or drinks?
Are these candles or drinks? I believe those are candles.
That's pretty cool.
I think which vendor that one is. I think that's Curiosities. And then we have a podcast for the Hard Lessons. It's a true crime podcast.
Okay.
You can come out and meet the people that are hosts of it. So I'm really glad that they're going to be there, and they're coming to us from Pampa.
Okay.
Which is about 30 minutes
Florida,
away.
right?
That's the husband-wife team that do the podcast.
And then you've got the children's area. Oh, the price tickets and stuff like that.
The 7 to 11, $5. Adult admission is 10. Under 7 is free.
Right.
0 to 6.
Okay, so that basically covers all of it, or am I missing something?
Well, there's a lot more vendors, but yeah, we're good there. That gave you people a very good overview of what's going to be there.
Awesome. All right. I know you're going to be busy and everybody's busy. This last 6 weeks is going to be, hardcore. So anybody who's watching from the US around that area, Texas, spread the news out. Check out the websites. Check out the Facebook page. It's all in the chat there. All the links are there. And also, I'm going to pass the video on later. So download it and upload it to give it over to Greg so you can actually put this on their website. I mean, not the website, the Facebook, so everybody can watch it later to find out everything that's happening. And of course, there's so much more happening as well apart from what we covered. So do check out the Facebook and the website, and the tickets. They're all there on the site. Now, as I finish, I just want to. I rushed to Rising Sun because I wanted to leave it to the last. So Rising Sun Comics, my publisher in the US, publishes our comics there. So they'll be there, as we mentioned. About was it like 2 or 3? What was it? But we'll be there with. Is it like how many? What size is there? The stall. Sorry, that's what I was trying to get to.
The booth,
yeah,
10 by 10, and then she has a 10 by 10, and the steward has a 10 by 10. So they're all there together.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot of books there. Of course, Incredigo will be there, and I don't know what's coming. So, but do check out the Rising Sun Publishing Group and the website, Rising Sun Comics itself. I'll put the link in the chat so you guys can check it out. Because, as I said, I don't know what the publisher is going to bring, but there will be a lot of stuff, printed material, posters, whatever else it needs. Usually at these events will be there. Now, I'm not sure this will be there, but this is the character that you'll see as exclusive. First time will be released as at an event will be in Auckland, in Texas at Borger, the event. So it's pretty cool. I'm quite excited. So Incredigo, there's a logo there somewhere, but please check it out and pick up a copy. It'll help the publisher. It'll help us get more, notoriety. As I say, it's our first issue, all ages comic book. We released it last year on Kickstarter, and so you'll have like these released, locally as well there before we release anywhere else in the world, like to people. So it was only released on Kickstarter and not physically to anybody until March this year. So let me go back here and where was it? I was going to get us to the website for Boomtown. So there is the website of Boomtown. It's Boomtown Comic Con square.site. Also on Facebook, you can grab it at Boomtown Boomtown Comic Con. So this is the Facebook. And as we finish here, Greg, do you want to say anything else? I'll give you this stage for the next 5 minutes.
I just really appreciate everybody that's supporting us so far, and get it by getting a booth or from the city, Chamber of Commerce, and then just those that will share, comment, like, and come out because your support is going to determine what we do next year. If we make it a 2-day event. We'll have to have a good showing for this year, and we're really proud of the group of people that we've assembled with the amount of product, the amount of artwork, the novels, the children's books, the gaming, the food. I mean, the package we feel is just so fun, and we just would love to see you out there and just. If nothing else, come out to see my new grandbaby, because my daughter will have had her about 2 or 3 weeks before the convention. So, and then just thank you. Thank you for the support so far. Appreciate you.
So that's all from me. I'm going to leave you with a couple short videos on the way out. Thank you, everybody who's joining us. Thank you, Greg, for taking your time out to come on here. Please spread the video around, leave a comment, share, like, whatever you got to do, but let people know this event is on next month. It's on the 25th of March. Am I wrong? 22nd of March. Right.
March 22nd, 2025. Yep.
And that's a
Saturday
right?
From 10 to 6.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to leave you with this little video. And we'll catch you next time, guys. Thank you for checking us out. If you have never subscribed to us or haven't, visited us, please leave a comment or like or subscribe. Right. So
thanks.
Tell me we're going.
Let me get this video out. And thank you, Greg, for coming on. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Ka kite anō, wherever you are, be well. Have an awesome week, day, night, evening. We'll catch you in the next one.
Going to Borger, Texas.
Not Burger, Texas. Borger, Texas.
That's what I've been trying to tell him is we're going to Boomtown Comic Con at the Dome in Borger, Texas. When is this?
Saturday, March 22nd, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Are you in?
I'm in. I could use some comics and video games. And I can get some pop culture memorabilia. And we'll rule that con. We'll be the Borger Kings.
That joke was under 9,000.
Nope. Can't stay here anymore. I gotta get back. I think this was the spot. Oh Lord, I beseech thee, please return me to my old life. I swear I'll do anything. Like, literally anything. And I won't bother you again, so pretty please bring me back to life.